minsan nababako naman talaga tayo, di ba? Nalulubak kumbaga, but those are bumpy rides. But what do we need to do? How do we equip our children to deal with?
Like Dr. Etchel, you mentioned about bullying, di ba? Kasi I think we can't be with our kids all the time. Like if they're already in preschool, ganyan. So kunyari meron silang classmate na medyo malakas yung dating or hindi nagsha-share or whatever. If we give them the tools, then they can handle it on their own kahit wala tayo. And then we just ask them about it when they get home. So hopefully, kaya nila on their own. Yeah.
Tsaka gusto ko yung sinabi mo din kanina earlier, no, Mami Janice, na your home is a safe space. Pero alam natin na not all homes are safe spaces for children, even for women. Still are, trying to campaign, talaga actively against VAUSI or violence against women and children. And since we're talking about bullying now, we have to also understand where children are coming from. Those, yung sabi mo na malakas ang dating or hindi nag-share, baka naman kailangan din nating alamin ano kaya yung konteksto ng kanilang sa bahay. Baka naman nabubuli ang batang yan. No? So we also need to somehow understand where people are coming from. Baka hindi rin masaya sila sa bahay. Kaya nag-ahanap sila ng outlet, no, para i-express yon. So those are some of the parang red flags, kumbaga, na baka naman this child also needs our help. Especially for schools.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Pero yun nga, gusto ko ulitin yun na our home should be a safe space, and we always need to look at the uniqueness and appreciate the uniqueness and unique talents and interests of our children. Sige, Daddy Mike, ikaw naman po, ano naman yung nagustuhan mo? Si Mami Janice, yung toolkit and the sahig or the floor. Ikaw naman, ano naman yung natandaan mo doon?
The same. The toolkit is a good one. It helps address and it's easier for the children to understand as well, to deal with certain different people and certain situations. Bullying and yung bully part, syempre, as a dad, sabi ko, i-enroll ko na siya sa taekwondo. Pero syempre, yung communication pa rin, di ba? So you ask that person, tanong mo, why is he doing that to you, or why is she doing that to you? So para just to engage, sabi ko na make friends with them. So it engages her. Parang nasi-challenge siya na parang, how do I talk to this person, or what do I say? So it's nice that we equip them with the right guidance on how to approach or engage with certain people and how to act on certain situations. And I'm just absorbing as well. No, I'm learning from you guys, and also nare-refresh ako doon sa mga stuff na mga binasa ko and mga learnings ko rin as a kid. So I'm just happy to be a sponge here and really absorb na parang oo nga, no, parang I think I should be doing this more, not just for my kids. Siyempre may 2-year-old din ako, so parang that way maganda na we have this platform, and not just for kami ni Chance but also sa viewers, no. So it's nice to be refreshed. Although in the back end, alam na, sabihin natin na, alam na natin yan. Oo, alam ko na yan. Nakita ko na yan. Pero syempre, iba yung pag may kid ka na. And you have these different, very, very helpful points that was raised, and very nice questions then for us to take time and also think about how we are raising our child.
Dr. Etchel, may I also, kasi while Daddy Mike's talking, yun nga yung napapaisip ka ako about what I learned before. I just remember nung bata tayo, yung sinasabi ng parents natin, pag may bully, sapakin mo din, di ba ganun dati? Yung parang, pag sapakin mo din. I mean, ganun talaga before, di ba? O yung parang, hindi ka weak.
Yeah.
So, lumaban ka, di ba? Pero now, like what Doc Etchel said, you look at them with compassion, di ba? Yung they say nga hurt people. So, like Daddy Mike said, talk to them, find out why they did that, kanyan. And then, worst comes to worst, tell teacher. Ganun yung advice. But ibang-iba na talaga yung, ang galing rin ng the way it evolved, yung child development matters. So I really always say nga, ang swerte ng mga parents ngayon, like Daddy Mike, yung bata pa yung kids nila kasi they have these tools. So yeah, I just wanted to just share what I'm thinking about when you're talking. It's really, really interesting to learn.
Oo, tsaka kasi meron din kasi mga misunderstandings about early childhood. Lagi kasi nilang sinasabi, mga bata pa lang naman yan, diba? Bakit tayo magfo-focus kaagad sa mga bata? Pag adolescent na sila, dun mo sila kausapin. Ay, hindi po, kasi everything
I heard that. Oo. Sinasabi yan ng mom ko, hayaan mo na, bata yun.
Bata pa.
Ganun ako.
At saka I think we have to also mention yung modeling. Kasi, di ba parang we keep teaching them yung yun nga yung be kind, like share, you find out. Tapos biglang, pag ikaw galit ka, nagda-drive ka, galit ka. Yung parang so inconsistent. So ang hirap din for us parents, we have to realize we have to walk the talk. So that's really important also. And I also read somewhere yung teacher Erickson, baka you can validate this, yung tone of voice natin. Kasi di ba mommies, more mommies than dads, I think, may medyo nagging tone. Sorry mommies ha, ganun talaga. But di ba we're always like, kumain ka na ba? Di ba? Homework mo, ganun. Parang we also have to be conscious about our tone kasi the tone alone can already like, ayan na naman, napagalitan na naman ako. Parang we have to be conscious about our voice. So, Sir Erickson, may ano ba yon? May scientific evidence ba on that? Like the tone, the words we use?
Actually, Mami Janice, that's my next point that I would like to highlight. Children are very observant. Katulad nga po ng sinabi ninyo. Lahat ng nakikita nila sa paligid nila, sometimes they observe it. Not pala sometimes, they observe it all the time. And sometimes they copy it. So we as adults, as parents, we need to be good role models. So kahit sabihin natin na paulit-ulit natin to narinig na maging good role model ka at the same time, pero it's backed up by theory. So in our field, palagi namin yan sinasabi na kung ano yung makikita ng mga bata, kung ano yung mga naobserbahan ng mga bata, yun din yung gagawin nila most likely. So see it as that way. Kung ano yung gusto nating makita sa mga bata, dapat ganun din yung gawin natin. Ganun din natin napapakita sa kanila kasi we cannot expect them to copy or model it from other people. So, kasi minsan sabihin natin, saan po kaya nanggaling yun? Bakit po kaya? Kasi sasabihin ng mga magulang, teacher, hindi nga po namin alam. Or kaya, ako, teacher, parang wala nga ganyan sa amin eh. So, sometimes I give the caution na sige, baka pwedeng hindi. Pero they observe it. Children are very observant eh. So, most likely they get it from either their homes or ngayon nga with a different environment. Siguro may media, may social media. They can copy and they can do it also.
Oo. Tsaka
tinatamaan ako sa sinasabi ng teacher.
minsan Teacher Erickson, di ba, maaaring hindi sa parents pero sa mga caregivers. So that's why it's also very important that we really, really screen our caregivers, yung mga yaya natin. No? Kaya isa yan sa mga pwedeng advocacy. Ewan ko, Mami Janice, we already have that we also have to educate our nannies or yung mga tapag-alaga ng bata. Like for example, in UPCDC, we have Yaya education programs. Diba, Teacher Erickson?
Nice.
So, kahit na, alam mo, no, ang mga parents nakikinig dito sa Rex webinar natin, no, consistently. But I think it's not only limited to the parents, no. Even caregivers, even yayas, even lolos and lolas, kasi lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, no, extended family tayo, right? So,
Churchill, paano ko i-screen yung mom ko, yung grandma?
Ibang usapin. Grandparents are parents also, but they are grand. That's why they are called grandparents, no? Tsaka meron silang tendency namang spoil. Ay, sorry po ha.
Oo nga.
Kung paano po kasi ako lumaki, ganun din. Parang,
Oo, pero ito lang yung unsolicited advice for the grandparents. Medyo pigil-pigilan din natin yung ating mga comments, no, tungkol sa pagpapalaki ng ating mga anak sa kanilang sariling mga anak, no. Tandaan natin, nako, wag niyo po akong aawayin, no, pero yun po yung talagang advice ko kasi we also have to trust our children raising their own children. I'm not a grandparent yet. Ayoko pa atang maging grandparent, no. Yung natutunan ko in my theories, in my observations also of multi-generation households that I've studied, parang mas maganda na kahit na medyo feeling mo parang tingin mo mali, no? Medyo quiet ka muna. Wag mo naman pagalitan yung anak mo sa harapan ng anak niya. You can talk to your daughter or to your daughter-in-law, pero ibang usapin pa rin kasi yung parent-in-law, di ba? So, sorry po. Pero ganun talaga. Bakit ako nag-a-apologize? Kasi baka meron akong tinatamaan, no? At nagiging malaking problema yan sa pagpapalaki ng mga bata. So, it's really very
next
important.
Next episode po, i-discuss yan. No?
Alin, Mike?
Next episode
po, pag-uusapan po natin ng mga...
Orex education, meron ng ibang topic na gusto. Baka naman po pwedeng pag-usapan yung relationship with the grandparents. Talaga itong series na to.
Grandparenting.
Oo, manganganak to ng manganganak eh. Mas marami pang episode. So yes, it's really very important. Kaya yung important point dyan, yung mga bagay na dapat maging conscious ang mga tao sa bahay, Teacher Erickson, diba? So, pero my next question is, since you're talking about ano yung mga dapat kasi yung values they are caught no? Nakikita kahit na iba yung, minsan kasi mahirap naman talaga yon na they're saying, walk the talk. But it's easier said than done kasi like yung sabi mo nga, Mami Janice, pag nagmamaneho ka nga, nagpupura ka nga dahil ma-traffic, diba? Ay, nakatong driver na to, ganyan. So, nakikita na ng mga bata yung emotions mo. Hindi madaling mag-manage ng emotions sa totoo lang, no? We're only but humans. At saka, I think it's natural for people to get mad or to get angry. And it's also healthy that we express our frustration or our anger, but siguro in a nice way. Hindi naman tayo mananakit ng tao physically dahil nagalit tayo or manununtok tayo dahil naipit tayo sa traffic, no? That's also one very important. Pero which would bring me to my next question, Teacher Erickson, pagpapalalim lang ito, ano yung mga bagay na dapat maging conscious ang mga tao sa bahay so we could help strengthen or influence children's social-emotional development positively? Because eventually we want our children to have positive development and holistic development. So may maa-add ka pa ba doon bukod doon sa pagiging conscious about what we say or what we do or how we act basically?
Yeah. So just like what I said kanina, Teacher Etchel, it's important that we provide the behavior that you would like to model to our children kasi they tend to observe these behaviors and most likely yun talaga din yung gagawin nila when they react to or when they encounter the same situation. So ang pinaka-importante siguro din, especially because we are dealing with parents or our main participants or main viewers for this are the parents and the caregivers or family members. Ang basic factor that we need to discuss or we need to be conscious about is our children kaya they observe proper caring and loving interaction between family members. Diba? Importante na tayo din napapakita natin yan that we care for each other, we provide that loving relationship with each other kasi totoo yun na hindi naman palaging masaya, hindi naman palaging maganda yung mga pangyayari. There are instances wherein it might not be in favor of us or in favor of the children. Pero how we react and how we surpass these situations and experiences, yun yung mas magsistick, diba? Yun yung mas matatandaan ng mga bata. So, do children observe us expressing and receiving words that are good and not stressful, di ba? Na parang nakapakita ba natin paano tayo nakakapag-interact with one another ng maayos? Kapag yun nga, hindi maganda yung pangyari, palagi lang ba tayong nagsisigawan? Palagi din ba tayong nag-aaway? do we tend to address it physically? So that's important that we talk about these things kasi ganun din yung magiging strategy ng bata when they encounter certain situations. Or even at home, do we let them share stories? Parang, and at the same time, do we listen to these stories? Kasi pag napakikinig tayo at tapos sila din nagsasalita, ibig sabihin that's a factor of us highlighting the importance of that interaction, that meaningful interaction between family members. At kung ano yung ginagawa natin sa bahay, sigurado po ako na dadalhin din nila yan sa kung paano sila makikipag-interact sa labas, even with their peers and even with the adults. So, dapat yun yung isa sa ating binibigay at isa nating binibigyan importansya. So, siguro sabihin natin parang simple lang naman pala, no? Parang it's the same things that we always do. Pero we have to be conscious and at the same time, we have to remind ourselves that these simple characteristics of the interaction that we provide at home is something that must be safe, it must be caring, and at the same time, it must be warm. Kasi sa bahay, sabi nga ni Teacher Etchel at ni Mami Janice kanina, sa bahay dapat natin napaparamdam yon. Pero yun nga, may mga pagkakataon na ang mga bata, hindi nila yun doon nararamdaman. So, kung dahil di nila yung nararamdaman sa bahay, ang tendency ay paglabas nila sa bahay, maaari humanap sila ng ibang means and ways for them to get it, or at the same time, hindi nila din ito maparamdam o maipakita sa ibang mga tao. So, babalik ulit tayo din sa mga issues that we might encounter, such as bullying, mental health problems, etc. So, these things, siguro ang importansya ng environment that we provide at home, not just in socio-emotional and language development, but in the whole child development aspect is very important. Kasi yun yung magiging baon ng mga bata para sa susunod, alam nila kung ano yung mga pwede pa nila gawin kapag na-encounter nila yung issue na yun.
Yeah, Teacher Erickson, maraming salamat sa comprehensive. Ang dami ko pa rin tututunan kay Teacher Erickson. Tignan mo, no? Meron pa akong tanong. Siyempre, marami akong tanong talaga for our parents. Ito kasi, minsan, we do not understand people's or children's emotions when they speak. Diba? Kasi bakit siya nagagalit? Or anong nakakatawa dun? Diba? So, but of course, as you said, there are other ways to communicate. So, what's your advice to parents na minsan nafu-frustrate kasi hindi nila naiintindihan yung sinasabi ng mga anak nila or nararamdaman ng mga anak nila? How do we address issues when parents and children do not understand each other's feelings or are not able to communicate to each other properly?
Yeah. The keywords siguro for this Teacher Etchel, for this question, Teacher Etchel, na sabi na natin, nababanggit na natin, minsan akala natin hindi lang sila, ayaw nila makipag-usap, or minsan akala natin hindi lang nila to napapansin o na-experience. Pero are we providing that meaningful and intentional interaction with them? Kasi akala natin automatic yun di ba? For us ba as adults, do we automatically express our emotions? Di ba hindi naman? Parang minsan we want that specific moment and specific experience for us to share these these events or experiences, the emotions, the processes that we have. So parang kapag meron tayong kausap, hindi naman sa lahat sinasabi natin kung ano nararamdaman natin. We know that there is a proper and specific time for that, and that might be at home for the children. It is when we do our meaningful and intentional interaction. So minsan ang isa lang natin sabihin, hindi natin kailangan gumastos, di ba? Parang it's nice if we get to have kunyari dates with them, or we have meaningful experience with them. Like kunyari, nadadala natin sila sa mall, nadadala natin sila sa mga parks, etc. Pero at the same time, tingnan din natin yung mga small moment-to-moment experiences that we have at home na parang akala natin it's very negligible, di ba? Na parang natanong ko ba yung anak ko kung kumusta naman ang ginagawa niyang project specifically or an activity at home. Natanong ko ba siya kung kamusta na sila nung ganitong kaibigan na kinikwento niya. So, these things matter for the children, di ba? Na parang akala natin yung mga small moment, mga short, meaningful moment-to-moment experiences are taken for granted for children. Pero it what builds them up. Diba? Na parang ito din yung nagpapakita that you are an adult who understands and at the same time give priority to what he or she is feeling. So kapag ganun yung pakiramdam ng bata na meron siyang warm interaction and relationship with an adult, lahat po yun magsusunod-sunod na. Diba? Parang nararamdaman niya na, okay, I feel safe with this adult, with the parent, with the caregiver, or even with other members of the family. So lahat ng mga pag-uusapan namin ay iintindihin niya, lahat ng pag-uusapan namin ay nagmamatter, at lahat ng nararamdaman ko ay maaari kong i-share. So if these things are provided and given at an early age, we are building up the trust that they can share with us what they would like to share. Diba? Non-judgmental. Siguro ba magiging ang bias ko na lang dito, makaka-relate siguro si Mami Janice when it comes to mindfulness. Our experiences must be taken without judgment. Dapat non-judgmental, non-competitive, diba? Na parang hindi ko sinasabi na ba't ganyan yung experience mo, ba't ganyan yung nararamdaman mo, or non-competitive na parang bakit ganyan yung nararamdaman mo, dapat ganito kasi ganito na yun sa kapatid mo, or kaya nung bata ako hindi naman ako ganyan, bakit ikaw ganyan. So we have to treat these experiences and the emotions, our thoughts, and our experiences without this judgment, para yung mga bata nararamdaman nila, okay, lahat pa rin ang pwede kong i-share, pwede naman namin pag-usapan, not just the emotions, the different events that happened at school, or even those events without the parents. Yun yung mga mas gusto nating malaman, di ba? Na parang nakikwento natin sa kanila. Hindi in a way na pagsusumbong, pero it's a matter of interaction na nakapagbibigay sila ng sharing, nakapagbibigay sila ng experiences sa atin sa mga magulang, sa mga kasama sa bahay. So, katulad din siguro, isang bagay na makaka-relate tayo paggamit ng devices. Diba? How could it be a meaningful and intentional interaction? Do we watch together? Parang, pinapabayaan natin, ayan na yung phone. Para siyang, ang sabi ko nga dun sa isang pag-aaral, parang it became the pacifier. Diba? Na parang, when you feel certain emotions that should not be felt. For example, you feel bored, or parang akala mo yung bata bored, stress sila, umiiyak sila, or parang malungkot sila, mag-iPad ka na lang, or mag-phone ka na lang, mag-tablet ka na lang. So, is that meaningful? First and foremost, at the same time, meron ba tayong nakukuha from that? Kasi baka nagiging passive activity at passive experiences na lang siya. Nasasayang yung meaningful interaction na parang they can watch together, they can talk about what they watch or what they've seen, then ask them, kunyari, if it's a video, reading comprehension about what has happened. So, things, mga simpleng bagay lang ito na nagagawa natin, di ba, at home and with our children. Pero, it's very important. And again, babalik tayo, kailangan it should be meaningful and at the same time, it should be intentional.
Wow, Teacher Erickson, no? Ang dami nating keywords, no? Intentional, meaningful, hindi kailangang laging may gadget. In fact, a lot of homes now, marami akong mga kilala na, kasing edad ng mga anak ko. Ako kasi may TV ako, no? Pero I limit the television viewing. But when they were growing up, wala sila yung mga video games. No? Maglaro kayo dun sa labas, no? And I think, yung isa pa doon, yung simple activities lang, no, that are meaningful. Halimbawa, ano yung paborito mong ulam? Sinigang. Let's cook sinigang. How do you feel when you're eating sinigang? Why do you feel this way? Or bakit kaya malungkot yung cartoon character? Ano kayang nangyari? Those are something that, develop empathy in the end. Ano? So parang may ganyan tayo na pwedeng gawin araw-araw ng buhay natin. The most important thing there is we are present, no, in the lives of our children. Kahit sabihin nyo na maiksing oras lang yan because we are busy, and children are proud, no, when they know their moms have a career like Mommy Janice and, you know, Nix, no, Mommy Mix of the wife of Daddy Mike, no. They are happy, they are proud when their parents, especially their mothers, are doing something for society, not only for the family, no. So kailangan maintindihan naman nila yun when we explained it to them na kailangan nating may iba tayong ginagawa, hindi lang sa bahay. Dami-dami nating learning ngayon, ano. Pero syempre, Mommy Janice and Daddy Mike, meron pa ba kayong ibang gustong itanong kay Teacher Erickson about this whole conversation? Habang nandito si Teacher Erickson, and then also the audience can ask about Teacher Erickson. You can chat and you can comment on the section, ano, doon sa ating chat ba yung tawag doon? O basta doon sa ating comment section.
Comment section.
A comment section, and then we will try to answer them, ano. Pag gawin nyo na, samantalahin nyo na nandito si Mommy Janice if you have questions for Mommy Janice and Daddy Mike. But Mommy Janice and Daddy Mike, do you have questions or other questions for Teacher Erickson?
I have a question about, because I really sobrang grabe Teacher Erickson. Gusto ko talaga mag-notes, kaya lang nandito ako sa camera.
Naka-record naman to. Naka-live-stream naman tayo.
Grabe, ang daming
review.
Ang daming teachings, Teacher Erickson. I really loved yung non-judgmental, di ba? Parang, in fact, yung is, be curious. So, no judgment, be curious. So, if our kids nga are saying something we don't understand, it's, yun nga, parang you wonder, I wonder where my child is coming from. So maybe my question is, how do we kind of tame our own expectations? Kasi being a parent of older kids, I realized that most of what of our concerns to our children is projected. You know, kasi we're so scared that there'll be disrespect. They'll come out like this, or we're scared of what people will think, or we're worried about their future. Always naman with love. Diba yung concerns natin as parents. Pero sometimes, kunyari, our kids kunyari yung anak ko, gamer siya. So, Dr. Etchel, diba, yung, oh no, naku, hindi na siya magiging, paano na yan, magiging walang kwenta siya kasi gamer siya. Mga ganun yung notions natin. And when I had a conversation with my son about gaming and realizing also that gaming is actually now a way for them to connect. It's not necessarily bad. So yun nga, I approached it with curiosity. But admittedly, and I know a lot of parents go through this, when they hear gaming or when they hear nga yung na-addict na sa phone, always parang anxious na yung parent. Yung naging enemy na yung gadget, ganyan. And I don't know, for me, we just have to kind of be curious about it first. Kung talagang mukhang addiction na, or mukhang, syempre, not studying well na, nagsasuffer na yung health, syempre we'll be concerned. But at the start, otherwise, kasi di ba magko-conflict, then it'll cause a gap in your relationship. So how do we catch ourselves? Kasi di ba parang reactive tayo kasi we're coming from worry and fear.
Yeah. Magandang question, Mommy Janice, diba? Na parang not just with teenagers, diba? Even for early childhood, isa yan sa mga palagi na sinasabi. Filipino parents kasi tend to do things for children. Talagang we put priority to how we parent the children. Talagang parte yan ng ating kultura na talagang tayo, sometimes we become protective, diba? At the cost naman. Na parang we are doing things for them, not letting them experience the consequences of what they are doing. So, I guess I think the most important thing that we need to do when it comes to highlighting curiosity, or parang tayo bilang mga adults, or even for the parents, we always ask ourselves na parang, are we thinking about these things because it is for the development of the children, or are we kind of thinking these things because we are worried as an adult? Kasi ang key factor dyan minsan yun yung pro-social stress na parang these stressors are not directly about the children or about their development, pero how the other people will react to that certain parenting strategy or parenting experience or even the child experiencing it. So, babalik tayo sa parang importante ba yung ginagawa niya para sa sarili niya for his or her own development? Paano ito makakatulong sa kanya? Is it developing the interest? Is it developing their objectives in life, their likes, etc.? Or medyo hindi na siya safe. Yun yung isa naman natin pwedeng maging precaution. If it's not safe for them already, then I guess that's where we come in. Diba na parang
Yes.
Children also need guidance, and at the same time, they need supervision from the adult. So kapag ang priority natin ay yung development ng bata, how are they going to holistically develop? How are they going to hone their interests in things, their strengths, and work on their weaknesses? At saka alam natin na it is a safe experience or it's a safe activity for the children, then I guess we need to trust them that they are doing it for themselves. So doon din ma-highlight yung trust na gusto nating mapakita sa mga bata that you are doing these things and you know the consequences of what you are doing. So we trust you that you know what you are doing. So tayo din, nakikita din natin na it will become a trust-building relationship na parang tayo as adults or as parents, tinatrust din nila tayo na, okay, nagkakaroon kami ng ganong pagtingin. My parent trust me, I trust my child. So meron kaming trustworthy relationship.
Thank you, Teacher Erickson. I have another thing to share lang. It might also be something relatable to parents. Kasi parang, di ba, because of our fears as parents or our expectations for kids and all that, yung facial reactions natin when they, di ba, yung kunyari hindi natin sila naintindihan.
Ako, mahirap yung facial reaction. Ako, pag malaki na yung mata ko, takot na yung mga anak ko.
Kunyari yung mga anak na may i-share sila na kunyari, hindi natin naintindihan. So yung face natin parang, Parang, so sila, they're looking at us and then feeling na nila, ginajudge na sila. So parang it becomes next time, hindi na sila mag-share, di ba? So we have to really also watch our feet. Like, dapat talaga tayong, yes. Tapos, mag-react na lang pag wala na sila or research na lang muna.
Yeah, or process it to yourself. Because sometimes that processing, iba yung processing mo on what's happening with the child. Kasi ikaw din sa sarili mo. Of course, you need to take care of yourself as well. Yeah. You process it for yourself, di ba? Parang, kailangan pa ba itong maparinig doon sa anak mo? Or parang ikaw lang din as an adult, nandun na yung biases mo, nandun na yung apprehensions mo that you don't want to verbalize. So, siguro we will circle it down with being mindful, diba? Parang you are mindful not just with how you think, with how you feel, pero with how you react also. You are mindful. Sandali. Kasi ganun kami as teachers naman kasi Mami Janice when it comes to preschool classes. Kunyari, there's something na sobrang kakaibang nangyari. You cannot, diba, blurt out your initial reaction. Automatic yun for us na parang hindi kami mapapasigaw or parang hindi kami mapapaano. We are very mindful and siguro ang isang pwede din natin ma-highlight yung calm, diba? That calm that you feel so that hindi ka din nadadala ng emosyon mo. Sa atin sa mga Pilipino, yun yung hindi tayo nagpapadala sa mga bugso-bugsong damdamin, diba? So, pabugso-bugsong damdamin na nakakatuwa na dapat napapractice din natin.
Ang ganda, Teacher Erickson. Kaya ganun palang teacher training, you're trained to be like subject. Parang you take out yourself from situation. Ang hirap lang pag parent, no? Like, kunyari, dumating anak ko, tapos parang sabihin, ay, mommy, I kissed a girl in school. Tapos ikaw, Pero actually, dapat you have to be calm.
Yung mga daughters ko, when they were hanggang ngayon naman, pag sabihin ko, isa, alam na nila yon. Malapit na magalit si Mami. Diba? Malapit na siya magalit. So pag meron na, sige, nagawin mo na yan. Tapos isa, okay, malapit na siyang pumotok kasi hindi naman ako parati nagagalit and then hindi ako nagko-corporal punishment with my children. I don't spank them. I just set the rules, negotiate the rules with my children. No? Ano ba yung reasonable sa'yo? Kasi we believe that even they are children, they have the agency to decide for themselves, to express what they want, no? Eh, syempre, may limits din yun. Hindi naman kasi lahat ng gusto nila pwede mo ibigay. Kasi it might also be detrimental to their health and development and also to other people. Eh kung sabihin niya, Mami, gusto ko na mag-drive at 10 years old, di naman yun pa pwede, diba? So, we just have to, parang set the limit by setting the rules also, apart from what Teacher Erickson answered. And thank you for that question. I'm sure many parents also will learn from this sharing. Ikaw naman, Daddy Mike, naku, mag-overtime na talaga tayo. Rex Education. Talagang isang oras. Sige, Daddy.
Dapat 2 episodes na to. 2 episodes.
But
Daddy
no,
Mike,
no questions naman. Pero it's nice to absorb, no? Yung mga na-share ni Mami Janice is the same questions na I'm also dealing with syempre sa children ko. And I want to review this video again and again. Just to see yung mga stuff that we talked about. It's very helpful. It's not just us sharing yung experience namin, but syempre learning about early stage socio-emotional development. Na we get to absorb these information, and may mga umiilag ako sa mga sinasabi ni Teacher Erickson kasi yung mga stuff na, aray ko, parang ako yun sa mama ko ngayon. So, syempre, it gives us a reality check as well na parang, oo nga, I should be like this so that my kid can be a better, diba, child growing up or a person. It also helps us to be a bit more a better parent, a better husband, person to other people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yun ang buong goal din naman natin is to grow up na maayos and well-developed in all aspects. So, thank you, Rex and Teacher, for enlightening us more and refreshing us dito sa mga itong mga knowledge na we will get to use every day. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much sa comment mo, Daddy Mike. Kaya nga yung Rex talaga nagpupunyagi para magkaroon ng gantong mga series, kasi nga natin sila, partners natin, edukampiyon nga tayo, diba? With Rex, of course. At saka yung ating Little Explorers by Rex, talagang kailangan natin yan. Kaagapay talaga natin. Saka yung Rex Education, dati Rex Bookstore, ilang taon na ako. So yung Rex Education talaga, lifelong learning talaga yung target nila. Kaya we want to start from the very beginning. And we know for a fact that education is really very important, It shapes the future, it shapes the way you think, and it shapes who you are. So kaya it's really very important that we invest on education. So I think we're one with Rex Education when it comes to educating our children, making a better life for everyone, na sana pagdating ng panahon wala nang naaapi, walang naiiwan and all. Sige, nako, ang haba-haba na nito. Thank you very much, Mami Janice, Daddy Mike, and Teacher Erickson for the time that you provided us today. Thank you once again for that very, very enlightening discussion. I'm sure na mga nakasama natin sa webinar na ito, they have their own learning and realizations which hopefully they can apply at home, And so once again, thank you very much, to the three of you. I hope to talk to you more soon, Sana magkita-kita tayo. Sana magkaroon naman ng parang reunion yung lahat ng Anyways, maraming salamat po, So thank you, Mami Janice, Daddy Mike, and Erickson. Bye. Bye-bye po. So there you have it. Another set of developmental domains unlocked for our little explorers. Again, if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, head to Rex Education YouTube page or FB page and find the parent webinar playlist. Do not forget also to check out our Little Explorers book by Rex. These learning tools are anchored on the 6 domains of development, so they can be good tools for you as you try to be more intentional with healthy practices for early childhood education at home. So there you have it, Educampions. See you again next week as we discuss the last 2 developmental milestones or developmental domains pala, creativity and character development for our little explorers. Bye! Happy weekend, everyone! Take care! See you again!